is actually a requested video. Okay, so a lot of people are asking me if I have a paid tutorial, okay, paid class where they can receive tutorial. I will just plead with you to please be patient, because I currently have a master class running. I cannot merge another one, and I also have this beginners class. Okay, so my name is Chinyere and I'm your online fashion illustrator. Okay, I have a lot on my hand now. I'm maintaining this beginners class and I still have a master class running concurrently, so please be patient with me, because in this particular master class is ending in 2 months time, by July. Okay, so by July I'll be able to take in fresh people, and I can't just add fresh people to this particular class that is ongoing. They've already gone far. Okay, so I won't want to add fresh people there, so I will advise that you just hold on. By July this particular batch will be done, and then I can take in fresh people. Okay, so let's go right into this tutorial. So today we are making a mermaid skirt. Okay, now bear in mind that this particular illustration can be used for both skirt and gown. Now for the skirts, okay, for the skirt, please do well to always take your skirt up to high waist. Okay, nowadays every skirt should be made high waist. It's not good sometimes when somebody wears skirt and then you see the person's tummy rolling up. So but if you make any skirt you are making high waist, it will avoid that, and then take it up to high waist. That is your waist plus an extra 2 inches. Okay, so instead of your waist to hip being 8 inches, make your waist to hips 10 inches, and that way your skirt will come up, so it doesn't have to roll under your tummy whenever you are sitting down or you want to stand up. Okay, so let's go right into this tutorial. Now to make a mermaid skirt, there are 2 styles. One is the A-line style, which is the one we are going to be doing today, and the other one is the pieces style. Now it could be 6 pieces, it could be 12 pieces, it could be 24 pieces, depending on how you want to pieces your own. Okay, all you want to achieve is that at the end of the day you want to achieve this fullness around the hemline. Okay, but then if you know how to plot your A-line mermaid skirt very well, of course it will still give you what a 12 pieces 24 pieces can give to you. You can achieve it in an A-line skirt. The only thing is learn the basics, and that's what I want to teach you. Now making it A-line doesn't just mean going to taking down your skirt pattern to the knee line and then flaying it out towards the hemline. No, if you do that, everybody will know that it's an amateur that made the cloth. But then there are tactics that big fashion designers use that makes their own A-line mermaid skirts. When you see it, you will be like, wow. Okay, and that's what we are going to be talking about. The mermaid skirt, to have fullness, you want your mermaid skirt to fall freely to the floor. Follow me to the end of this tutorial and you are going to be learning all that. Okay, now a mermaid skirt that has fullness has 3 different parts, and that is the front bodies and the back bodies and the tail. You can opt to leave the tail, but I like adding tail. So far as a mermaid skirt, add tail to it. That tail will help widen the down part of it again. Okay, so let's go into this tutorial. Now we are going to be plotting our front bodies, and we are going to use our front bodies to plot our back bodies. So now I always used to tell people, don't be scared of using pattern. The pattern you use today, you can still use it in 3 years time, you can use it in 4 years time. If I take you to my store, okay, you will see where I packed patterns. So when I measure you, I don't even need to start doing any waist divided by 4. I'll just go and look for pattern that matches your measurement, and then I just cut. I could cut I can cut like 4 in a day. Okay, reason being that I didn't just start your calculation, I already have an already made pattern. And that is why if you want to go into ready to wear business, that is just the basic. You don't come and start measuring and calculating every now and then. You just go and pick your pattern, cut, and then join your clothes, and you are done. So let's go right into this tutorial. So the first thing, you guys all know me, you all know me, and you know that I don't do anything without my border line, which is 1 inch. I have inserted it. Okay, what I want to show you now is the basics, how to achieve enough fullness without making your skirt a 6-piece skirt. Watch with all seriousness. Now, on my waistline, I will add my hip divided by 4. Whatever I get, I will add 1 inch that allowance, okay? Then I will now add 2-inch sewing allowance. Please don't make mistake. That is because whatever happens as a beginner, if you put 2 inches allowance to whatever you are sewing, you are covered. You are covered. The highest that can happen, oh madam, is too wide, shape it, you shape. But if they say, oh, it's too tight, open it, you will open. But when you don't put enough allowance, if there's a little bit of mistake, that cloth is condemned, except you are creative enough to find something else to do to it. Okay, so now I'll be doing my waist divided by 4 plus 1 inch that allowance that we are going to be taking out here, plus 2-inch sewing allowance. So I mark that here. Now if it is a skirt, like I said, add 2 inches to it to make it a high waist. But if it's not a skirt, that is a gown, so I'm doing the down part of this gown right now. That means my ½ inch started from 16, that my waistline started from 16. Okay, so 16 plus 8 is what is going to give me my hip line, and that is what I'm marking right here. Okay, 16 plus 8 is what to give me my hip line, and that's what I'm marking here. And it doesn't have that. The only thing I'm going to be doing is my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches sewing allowance, and that's what I'm going to be marking here. Now my knee line, when I'm measuring my client, I measure my client knee line. Make sure you put the tape from the waistline to the knee, to the customer's knee, and that is what I'm going to be measuring here. Okay, now whatsoever you measured on this hip line, remove 1½ inch. Don't measure knee circumference, there's nothing like knee circumference. Now whatsoever you measure here, anyway, let me hold on like this, then I come to my hemline. Okay, so this is my hemline. Now when measuring your client, please do well to measure the client to make it touch the floor. Touch the floor small. Why it's going to touch the floor is that by the time you are done with your sewing, your hip carries up that clothes, and if you touch the floor small, by the time your hip carries it up, it will still balance. But if your customer say no, I know they like make my clothes they sweep ground, and you obey the customer, by the time you are done sewing, the hip will carry the cloth up, and then the customer's leg will be looking funny. I like my mermaid skirt to touch the floor. Make the knee to the hemline should be way longer than from here to here. Okay, so if it's longer, even if your client is a short person, it will make the person's figure to be elongated. Always make sure you take from the knee to make it from the knee to touch the floor small. Okay, so I want to assume that this is my hemline right now. Okay, now I want to work on this knee line. When you measure from waist to knee, right? But when you want to plot your pattern, please, this is not your knee line. You must always come up by at least 2 inches. At least 2 inches. But I'm coming up by 3 inches. But come up by at least 2 inches. And I'm coming up by at least 2 inches. This is my 2 inches here. So this now becomes my new knee line. Okay, this now becomes my new knee line. So in marking the markings for the knee line will be whatever I got from this knee hip line. I'll be removing 1½ inches from it, and then I'll mark here whatever I got here, that is hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches sewing allowance. That's what I'm going to be marking here, and I already marked it here. Now whatever you got here, you bring it down here. Okay, you bring it down here. So insert the measurement for the hip line. Okay, you will come up here by 2 inches, you will come down here by 2 inches. The reason you are doing that is so that you won't have a sharp marking by this side. So when you are connecting, you just use your hip curve. Okay, I can't use my hip curve now because I'm using a miniature measurement. Okay, but this is how it's going to look like. Okay, now when measuring your client, please do well to add extra 1 inch if you are going to be padding the cloth. That is, if your person, if the hip, round hip was 50, make it 51. Add extra space for the hip padding. But if the person's hip is okay and the tummy is flat, that it can make us to have this figure, then you don't need to add. So we are done with this. Now you are going to be applying the bust span so that you'll be able to apply your darts. And then for the front pattern, the dart comes down by 5 inches, and you know, like, because what you took in for it was 1 inch, you are going to be doing half inch by the two sides. Okay, we are going to be doing half inch by the two sides. So we are done with all this. With the front pattern this way, we are just done with it. The next thing is that you have to come down a little by half inch or 1 inch, and then you are going to connect nicely. Just blend it into this line. Just let it come down just a little, and then you cut it out. Okay, you cut it. So here now you will add your 1 inch or your half inch sewing allowance depending on what you are going to be cutting. So this is our front pattern, right? This is our front pattern for the skirt. Now we are going to, this is where the mermaid effect will now come. Now when you want to slash, you are not going to slash the original nail line. You are going to slash that nail line from where you came up by 3 inches, right? Now you see the way you are going to be slashing it straight to the edge. Now you are going to divide this particular part, this part, you divide it by 3 equal parts. Okay, you will divide it equal parts. You will divide it into 3 equal parts. Okay, look at what I'm going to be doing. Okay, then you place it like so. Now remember that this front part, okay, this front part is on fold, right? So you are going to place it this way because this front part will be on fold. Do you understand? Now you are going to do something spectacular. You are going to open this place by at least 1 inch. You open it by 1 inch like so. This is my 1 inch. Okay, by the time you open it, there's a little bit of effect here and there's an effect here. Now you will spread as wide as you like. Okay, spread it as wide as you like. If it's not spreading, you cut it out. The only thing you owe it is make sure that everything is joined. So this is the front part, right? Okay, we came down by 1 inch like so. Now we will spread and we will spread. Make sure everything aligns and there will be no spacing around this area. Okay, there will be no spacing. Okay, you can see, spread it as wide as you can. Spread it as wide as you can, anyhow you can, but make sure that everything aligns. As wide as it can, spread as wide as it can go. Okay, but let there be no spacing at this area. Let there be no spacing at all. Okay, then you mark it out. The front does not really have a problem. Where we are going to be working really on is the back pattern. Okay, so don't mind my drawings, yours will be clearer. So we set it aside. This is the front part, we label it the front and we set it aside. Okay, now we are going to be working on the back pattern. Now for the back pattern, you just look at what I'm going to be doing now for the back pattern. Okay, that's why I always used to say number it so you don't make mistakes. Okay, so this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Okay, so now for the front pattern, right, this is the side. For the back pattern, sorry, this is the side where the zip will be. So this side we are going to be adding 2 inches to it, but not yet, not now. First of all, you are going to work on that. Remember that for the back pattern, the back that is going to come down by only 3 inches, and you are taking ½ inch by the 2 sides, and everything is fine around this area. Okay, so now coming to the waistline, you will come in here by ½ inch. Okay, you will not touch the hip line. Now on this, you will come down by 2.5 inches from the hip line, and you will come in by ½ inch again. Okay, now you are going to blend it nicely into this knee line, the original knee line. Okay, just watch what I'm doing and you will understand. Okay, so now you are going to be trimming out nicely this one. So you will take it and you place it on your pattern paper. But now remember that this one is the back pattern, so there's no folding. So we are cutting out 2 pieces here because there's going to be a zip. Do you understand? So now you will also still spread it. Okay, now you can now spread this one anyhow you like. Okay, okay, now you will now start the spreading. Remember that these things are like this, right? They are like this. Now you will give, in the front pattern you gave 1 inch here. This time around you are going to be giving up to 2 inches, or anyhow you want to give. Okay, now you will shift. In all this, please make sure that there's no spacing here. Okay, you start to spread it anyhow you like. You can spread it as wide as you can go, but make sure that everything aligns. That is the only limitation to it, to how wide you can spread it. Okay, remember that as you are doing this, the center will drop. This with what I have done. Okay, let me just finish, I will show you. Okay, now you are going to mark out. You are going to mark out. Okay, you are now going to mark out nicely. Okay, so remember that this is the zip area, right? So we'll now come and attach that our 2 inches allowance. Make sure that it's 2 inches here. You will mark 2 inches, you will mark 2 inches, you will mark 2 inches. You keep marking 2 inches till you go down. Okay, the reason for marking these 2 inches here is to make sure that you get an even 2 inches. Okay, you place it and make sure you get an even 2 inches. So this is the 2 inches for your zip allowance. Okay, so the front part now you are cutting on fold, but the back part you are cutting 2 separate pieces because there will be a zip here. Okay, now the last part, which is the tail part of the skirt, we are done with the front, with the back too. Okay, you can see how our skirt has curved nicely. Then there's something I'll also suggest to you, but let me be done with it so that it won't be confusing. Okay, that's why I said the only thing that will make you stay long in making your mermaid skirt is if you are going to be adding trimmings, adding beadings, that's the only thing that will make. If not, you can cut this thing in 30 minutes. This is the front and this is the back. Okay, but now we are going to be creating the last part, which is our flounce. Right now, every flounce should start on the knee line. Knee line that I mean is the last knee line, not that original knee line you measured. You know, after the original knee line, we came up by 3 inches. So knee line should come up, your flounce should start by from that knee line, okay? And this is my knee line, okay, for my flounce. Now you will check from here, okay? Place your ruler so that you will get this center line. If you observe, this center came down, okay? You will get this center for me, okay? This center is what we want, and you will mark it. You can create your flounce to even follow you from how many kilometers, that is your business. But anyhow you want to create a flounce, just create a flounce like so, okay? Make it to start with this particular one, okay? No, make this line should start from this particular place, okay? Now you can decide to come down by maybe 1 inch. Now you are going to be connecting your flounce, okay? You are going to be connecting your flounce from that knee side, okay, to that 1 inch that you came down. You can make it 2 inches, but for this tutorial I want to make it 1 inch. Have you seen what I did there? Okay, have you seen what I did there? Have you seen what I did there? So from here you are going to be connecting nicely like so. Make it an S shape, and this is your tail. This is even moderate. I like taking mine as far as even 10 inches. Let it be flowing and be following me. That is how they create it. Now you are cutting 2 pieces of this that you are going to join this way, and this is your tail. Now if you have enough material, you can cut together, okay? But I like cutting it separately so that I can even add if I want to add, okay? You can even add if you want to add it. So now this is my tail, okay? This is my tail. So my design is looking like so, okay? This is how my design will be looking like. Guys, if you follow what I have done now and plot it on your lace fabric, your cloth go full ground. Now if you want to go the extra mile, now what you are going to be doing is, if you want to go the extra mile, what you are going to be doing is, after you have joined all, this one is on fold, right? This one is in 2 pieces, right? Now you have joined your tail from the knee line, okay? Everything is now on the ground, is round now. You now use crinoline to attach to that hemline. If you use crinoline to attach to that hemline, everything will stand and spread out, and that is all. So if you need the tutorial, fabric tutorial of this particular illustration, let me know. I might be able to bring it out from the master class and put it here, okay? If not, just hold on. The master, for all of you that are here now, you are all going to be in the master class, and it's actually free, okay? The only thing that you are required to do is that whatever material, here I'm using my material, but in master class, it's your material will be using. So whatever style that we are cutting, you people will be the one to bring yourselves together and get all the materials that we need, okay? So let's go right into the next tutorial. Here I don't like wasting our data. So if you follow whatever I have taught here to the letter, you will get exactly the effect that you need, okay? Now, please, one more thing I want to add, okay? So when you are plotting your front, remember that you came down on the front by 1 inch, and then others followed it and followed it that way, right? Okay, do you know the importance of coming down by this 1 inch? Let me tell you the importance. Now your mermaid skirt, the front is supposed to drop while the side is supposed to go up, okay? So if you spread it out without coming down, okay, if you spread it out without coming down, there's no problem. But there is something it will do to this side. This side will come and be standing. But when you bring it down a little and let it follow each other and let it follow each other, you find out that it's not like it will not stand, but it will not stand the way it is going to stand, pointing to the 2 separate sides that way, okay? It will not stand and be pointing this way. It will drop, Okay, now when you still go to the back, when you want to plot for the back, remember that instead of even 1 inch, you still came down by 2 inch. All of them is to pattern your this thing to make it drop. But if you just cut your A-line and you do it this way, and you just do it this way, well, it will still go well, but I like the effect I get when I follow this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.